Hi, I'm Sarah Joy, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my year abroad in Oslo, Norway. The reason I chose to do a year abroad was because I didn't exactly know what I wanted to do after uni. So I thought I'd buy myself a bit of time, extend the degree, and also have some fun traveling. Once I began researching more about a year abroad, I realized that it was actually going to be much better than just that, though, because you get the extra European legal studies title to your degree, which I thought I could really play on in interviews and future applications and help myself stand out a bit from my peers. I think those reasons are totally valid reasons for wanting to do year abroad, but since living in Oslo, I've realized that my benefits are so much greater than those two things. In particular, the modules I've been studying have been really, really cool and not really classes that you can take in the UK, or at least in many universities I know. In Oslo, they have a really international focus, both in the public and private sectors. I have been studying the law of armed conflict, international human rights law, international criminal law, and then some of my friends who are more interested in the private sector have been studying really up and coming studies like AI law or cybersecurity, and I think financial market regulation as well. So if you're interested in international law, I'd really recommend Oslo. Outside of my classes, though, I've actually learned so much as well, just from casual conversations I've made with my friends. It's been really, really cool to make friends with people from all over Europe and the rest of the world. And I think learning about different jurisdictions and having that insight you can really play on, especially if you're interested in working for a big firm that does international deals. This is something that could really be helpful. But of course, doing a year abroad is so much more than just the studying element. I think this year I've grown so much as a person, and it's been so fun to try new hobbies and just try new things in general. One thing for me was that in Oslo, I got to learn to snowboard, which is something I've always wanted to do my entire life, but I've never really had the opportunity. So when I found out that Oslo has some ski slopes, which are about half an hour from the city centre, I was sold. And me and my friends got a season pass, and we could just go after lectures and just hang out on the slopes, which is really, really cool. Other things I've enjoyed in Oslo and Norway in general is just being in the outdoors. Norway has really amazing mountains, fjords across the west coast. I think a highlight for me was going to the fjords last semester in my in-semester break, and me and my friends hiked a glacier, which was quite like a bucket list thing, so that was really fun. And then this semester, me and a friend went up to Svalbard to the Arctic, where there's like polar bears, so that was really, really cool. I think another thing to note is that doing a year abroad can be a bit daunting with learning a new language, but a real advantage of Scandinavia has been for me that I haven't felt isolated as a English speaking person. I think it's a bit different in other countries in Europe and the rest of the world, but in Norway, everyone is really, really strong at speaking English. I would still recommend taking some Norwegian classes so that you can interact more with Norwegians and just seem polite. But it's definitely that little bit easier moving to Norway as you don't have that extra additional culture shock. Okay, so that's some benefits of doing a year abroad and some benefits of living in Oslo. And now I'm going to give you a tour of the law school and go to some of my favourite places around the city. So I thought I'd give a little tour of one of the main buildings you'll be in here if you choose to come to Oslo. This is Domus Juridica, which is part of the law faculty. And as you can tell, it's a little bit different to Newcastle Law School. It's got some really amazing study spaces, and the lecture halls are really, really nice. And one fun fact about this building is that it's got the Norwegian Centre for Human Rights on the 7th floor, which is actually pretty cool. And some students even get to do an internship with them, I think. I'm just going to show you a couple of the study spaces in the building. This is the law library. It's really quite nice. So this is the top floor of the law school, and it's got a very nice view, as you can see, all the way down to the bottom where the canteen is. And this is floor 7, where the Norwegian Centre for Human Rights is. And I can actually see one of my lecturers sat at that table, which is kind of cool. But yeah, as you can see, it's just got really nice study spaces. So this is a pretty cool place in Norway. We have the Nobel Peace Centre here, where the Nobel Peace Prize gets announced every year. And actually last semester I studied international humanitarian law, which is the law of armed conflict. And because of that, I, along with like my whole cohort, got to go to a private event here with the International Committee of the Red Cross, which was so cool. We got like free food, free wine, and we had like a private seminar with some really high people in the ICRC. So that was really, really cool. This is one of my favourite spots in Oslo. This is Aker Brygge. and I like to run around here. I like to watch the sunset here. It's just a really nice place. I forgot to mention, but Oslo is literally a fjord. It's a city built around a fjord, so it means that you are right near the water at all times, which is just so nice. And now we're on the way to meet some of my friends, and they're going to tell you more about Oslo and why you should come here. Okay, what's your name?
Vladimir,
And where are you from?
Luxembourg.
And what's your favourite thing to do in your spare time in Oslo?
Um, I would say it's to go to the sauna with my friends, chill in places like this, in the sun, have a slow day, because Norwegians they like to take it slow, and yeah, just immerse myself in the culture.